Hello Magic fans, I'm Beef and welcome back to another standard gameplay video. A few weeks ago we played a green-white ramp dino deck, and the idea was you would ramp out lands with Glimpse the Core and Topiary Stomper, hit your land drops by discarding Spinewood's Armadillo to get a land and ramp a bit of Outcast Trailblazer, and then get out a Vaultborn Tyrant. Ideally, you can get out two or one another creature with Smuggler Surprise. And it's probably my favourite deck I've played, featuring cards from Outlaws of Thunder Junction. It's a very powerful deck and it's a great way to get up the ladder. So I decided to see if we could do something similar, but instead of white with blue. Now, the cards we had in white were Temporary Lockdown, which was great against mono red. Buried in the Garden, which is a great removal spell, and Ramsers, and Elish Norn, which doubles all our ETBs, and pretty much every single one of our ETBs creatures has an ETB, and it also doubles up the triggers of Buried in the Garden. So without those, what do we get instead in blue? So we get 3 steps ahead. It's a spree card. Base cost is 1 blue, and then you can pay another blue and 1 generic to counter target spell. 3 mana for a counter spell is not great, but it does counter anything. And then you can pay 3 to create a token as a copy of a target item out of creature control. This is sneakily powerful. And then play 2, draw 2 cards, and discard a card. This is a great card that lets us really go up against control decks as well, because we can counter things. And then that +3 allows us to copy our creatures. And ideally, you know, the best result would be copy a Vaultborn Tyrant to get even more value, but even copying a Topiary Stomper, it lets us ramp. And there is a play that, you know, Topiary Stomper can't block unless you have 7 lands. If you have 6 lands and your opponent swings out, you can play this, create a copy of Topiary Stomper, get a land to ramp, and now you've got 7 lands, so you've got 2 4/4s that can block. It did happen in one of the games when I was testing the deck out, although my opponent then did spend 2 removal spells to remove the 2 Stompers. I'm not sure why he didn't just use 1 to remove the one when I targeted it. And that last mode of draw 2 cards and discard a card is a great way to get through our deck as well. The big thing card we have is Bonny, Pall, Clearcutter. So 6 mana, 6/5 with reach. When it ETBs, you create Bow, a legendary blue ox creature token with this creature's power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. So it's going to come out at a minimum of a 5/5, usually a 6/6 or above. Then it has whenever you attack, draw a card, then you may put a land card from your hand or graveyard onto the battlefield. This is great synergy with Vaultborn Tyrant because it creates 2 large creatures. You're going to be getting 2 triggers from Tyrant and then 2 triggers from the Trailblazer, because they'll both have power 4 or greater. The final blue card we have is Doppelgang. So it's green and blue, then XXX. For each X target permanents, create X tokens that copies that permanent. Obviously, we don't really have issues getting land, so it's not unreal that we can play this for 2 quite easily. That requires 8. To play it for 3 needs 11. But even just 2, if you get 2 more copies of Vaultborn Tyrant, or 2 copies of, you know, plus 2 copies of their best cards, or even just lands to ramp more, it's a basically great win condition. And the only other new card we have is Throw from the Saddle. Because we lost Buried in the Garden and Temporary Lockdown, this is basically our 1 removal spell. So target creature control gets +1/+1 to end a turn. If it's a mount, you put a counter on it. We don't have any mounts, but then it deals damage equal with power to target creature to control. So our smallest creature has power 4. So, you know, at worst, this is in 5 or something. So it can kill pretty much anything apart from maybe, you know, like an Atroxa. So a pretty powerful, good removal spell, but it's only at sorcery speed as well. Land base, 6 basic forests, 4 basic lands. Otawara is another way to bounce things. Boseiju is a great way to take out troublesome artifacts or enchantments or non-basic lands. And then we have 2 Botanical Sanctums, 4 Dreamroot Cascades. You know, ideally, we're going to get a lot of lands onto our battlefield pretty quickly, so we want more of the ones that untap when you have 2 or more lands. Restless Vinestalk, it's a great way to beat down as a 5/5. And if it does get removed, you might be able to get it back with Bonny Pall's trigger. 2 Yavimaya Coast, and then a couple of Cavern of Souls. We don't have, there's no real clear synergy. We do have 2 dinosaurs, but if you're up against a blue deck and you want to cast a Bonny Pall or a Vaultborn Tyrant without using Smuggler's Surprise, put down a Cavern of Souls and, you know, name dinosaur or giant or, you know, human. So that's the deck. Let's see if it's as powerful as the green and white version. Hope you all enjoy the gameplay videos, and if you do, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the gameplay. It's an okay hand. We can ramp on turn 2 with Glimpse of Core, get out the trail, well, plot the Trailblazer if we don't have anything else, and make sure we hit our land drops with Armadillo, and we are on the play. And then we do have that Doppelgang. Even if we go up to 5 mana, we can use it to copy a land, or maybe the Trailblazer to get the value. Another Trailblazer. Not the greatest draw, but it's better than nothing. Ideally, how you want to play the Trailblazer is you want to plot it and then get it out if that mana you get from ETB and lets you cast a Vaultborn Tyrant or Bonny Pall. Maybe up against a mono blue artifact deck. Smuggler's Surprise isn't too bad. Obviously, if we plot the Trailblazers, we won't be able to hit him with the Smuggler's Surprise. So I'm just going to do this now. Let's get another island. Make sure we hit our land drops. Next turn, we could Doppelgang just to get an extra land. It's not the best use of it, but yeah, that's not great. That puts us onto a bit of a clock. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get 1 down just as a blocker. Gives us a... And let's get a second 1 down. We will draw. We can chump the Ginger Brute if need be. Although I imagine they make it unblockable. We've not done a huge amount of ramping, which is what this deck really wants to do. We do have 6 mana next turn, so if we draw Bonny Pall or Vaultborn Tyrant, we can get them out with the Smuggler's Surprise. Are they just going to explore? Stomper isn't great, but I suppose we can... Let's play this on, let's just say Dinosaur. And we can get down the Trailblazer and the Stomper with Smuggler's Surprise. Maybe ambush, block something. Oh, I think we're just dead. Well, we can bounce the... Yeah, we're just dead. Yeah. Our ramp deck, we barely ramped, which is not what you want to see. So let's move on. We have quite a bit of ramp. We do have pain lands, which is 9, and we have 3 steps ahead, which is good to counter. So this is a keep. Glimpse of Court, turn 2. Topiary Stomper, turn 3. Another Stompers, an okay draw. It's a shame we've got to use that to hit our land drop. And next turn we can Stomper and Spineless Armadillo to make sure we hit a land drop. Or maybe we Stomper and Glimpse the Court to make sure that our Stompers can block. Let's get an island. And I'm going to keep up 3 steps ahead, and if not, we can cycle the Armadillo. I imagine they'll take 4. They go in digging. Well, they clearly have something. If they'd have sacrificed this, fine. He doesn't kill my Stomper. No idea what that is, but I am fine with it. Let's get a forest. So we have 8. We will keep up Smuggler Surprise, as that is what we need to mill for. Obviously there is a chance we whiff. But hopefully we don't. Right, let's see. Well, let's see what we hit. Wow. Lands and that's it. That was a huge whiff. Let's get out the armadillo. And we'll keep up 3 steps ahead. Yeah. That was an odd... They didn't block at all, even they didn't jump at all, which I don't know why. It was also an odd time to scoop because they had enough blockers back that they could easily have killed our Stomper. But, well, let's move on. No ramp, so I think this is a mulligan. Not much better. Well, at least we have glimpsed the core. Let's put back the vine stalk and the cavern. Obviously, we are now massively behind. We can cycle the armadillo to get another island. That would have been a good spell to cancel, but we only had one counter, so we only had one blue. Let's just keep up 3 steps ahead. Let's counter that and draw 2. Let's discard the island. And again, let's keep up at 3 steps ahead. It's definitely worth a counter. And another 3 steps ahead, we'll get rid of the Sanctum. Let's get out the Tyrant. Throw from the saddle's good. We can use that to maybe destroy their creature or their Glitter. I don't mind if they attack. That's fine, because we get it back. So we need 4 and then 6. Yeah, so I think we can and we'll keep up 3 steps ahead, and then we can use it to counter whatever they cast, and then copy our dinosaur. So if they have removal, which they don't, Smuggler Surprise is a good draw. That's not so good. We're going to need to get to a position where we can basically alpha strike them. It's going to be tough. And Otawara would also be really good. Just in case. Oh no, we can't afford to do that. They only have one black. Right, let's draw an absolute bundle of cards. There's the Otawara. Right, let's get down this. We have 10. We play the Otawara. That puts us a 6. Just, you definitely have lethal. I'm just trying to work out the play. Let's be boring. Let's pay X is 1. Again, draw a bundle of cards. Now, obviously, 2 other things are going to die, but that is not much of an issue. Because they only have 3 life. They do have a few treasures though, but discard the island. If it has a fight spell, we are... yeah. That probably doesn't do it though. Yeah, Phyrexian Obliterator is a very powerful card, especially with fight spells, but we were so far in front, it didn't really matter if we had to destroy 6 of our lands. So we still had 5 left and could swing it for lethal. Let's move on. Well, this is not a keepable hand, unfortunately. No ramp, only 2 lands. This is better, no blue. But hopefully we can draw into it. And because of that, I will get rid of 3 steps ahead. Glimpse the core. We can get a blue with Stomper. We still need that second blue for Bonny Pall, but maybe we can plot the Trailblazer and then play it to get down the Bonny Pall. Oh, there is a blue. We're against a Boros Humans deck. So next turn we can just play Bonny Pal. It's pretty powerful. Tell you what, I'm going to play Stomper, get another land, and plot the Trailblazer. I'm going to swing in. If they want a double block, so be it. But I doubt they will yet. And next turn we can play the Trailblazer, draw from Bonny Pal twice, and attack to draw a third time. Assuming both, well, one of our Stompers survives. I do wonder if they've got Wandering Emperor, but as Topuri Stomper has Vigilance, it won't make a difference. Let's just add a green. And let's get in with our Stompers. No land. No blocks. They're not even chumping with their gnomes. They are digging. Well, I will fetch a land. What we could do is let's go a bit mental. Let's copy your Matter Weaver and our Trailblazer. We'll put the Cascade into play. It's interesting that I don't know why they didn't chump again. They should have jumped earlier as well. But next turn we could have smuggled surprise in the Tyrant, another Trailblazer. Again, just drawn most of our deck pretty much. Let's move on. No ramp until turn 3, but then we can ramp twice essentially, and then maybe ramp another time with 3 steps ahead. So I'm going to give it a go. We would have to play Cavern of Souls on Dinosaur or draw a 3rd land. Such as that. Interesting they took that. There's a risk we get run over. Drawing into Tyrant would be good, because the next turn oh, we just dead. Yep, we are just dead. We just got run over too quickly. Shouldn't have kept that hand with no turn 2 ramp. Let's move on. We can glimpse a core on turn 2, which sets us up to keeping 3 steps ahead up. We can maybe plot the Trailblazer. An untapped land would be good. I can play the Otawara, but it's a good thing to be able to keep up. But see, they're going for an artifact deck. Maybe the Simulacrum? Synthesizer Simulacrum? We're going to take a bit of a hit. Not a terrible draw. I think I'll keep up Smug Surprise and 3 steps ahead. I'm fine with that. We are going to take 8. Unless they have a counter, at which point we're dead. No. A Tyrant would be really, really good. That is not a Tyrant. We can counter something and then create a copy of our Stomper, maybe? But you are quite far behind. Let's copy the Stomper. We'll get rid of the tap land. Full on chomp mode. But I think we are pretty much done. Yeah. Just didn't draw any of our big creatures, which was a shame. Let's move on. We have a good hand. Shame our green is a ping land, but hopefully we can get an untapped green source. But we can glimpse on turn 2, turn 3, Spinewoods, or even better, Topiary Stomper. Up against a mono black deck, maybe? Are we looking at Deep Cavern Bat? No. Well, we'll play out a Stomper. Get ourselves another forest and the Sanctum. So next turn we can play out Bonny Pall. Or we can wait a turn. Yeah, I'm going to be greedy. I'm going to wait a turn. We'll discard the Armadillo, then play the Tyrant. And even if they can remove both copies of the Tyrant, yeah, even they can remove both copies of the Tyrant, that'll be their entire turn, really. And then Bonny Pall will get us a lot of life and card draw.
Enough with the mysteries. I've come for answers.
3 more life. They might still have removal for it, but yeah, they do. I will happily take 8. We'll see what they do, because we can get in the Trailblazer and Bonny Pall with Smug Surprise and maybe blank removal.
You won't be outsmarting me.
So we are drawing, yeah, a lot of cards. 3 cards, 4, 5 cards. So let's just see how many we're going to draw. 1, 2, 3 from the Tyrant, and then 1 and 2 from the Trailblazer. So that's 5 cards we would have drawn. Gained 3, 6, 9 life. So that would have put us at 30 with a full hand. That is just a lot of value. Let's move on. This is not a keepable hand. We don't have any ramp. This is better. We will get rid of Trailblazer. Turn 2, Glimpse. Turn 3, Stomp Up. And hopefully we've drawn something by turn 4. If not, we can always discard the Armadillo to fetch a land and make sure we hit our land drops. Next turn we can play the Vinestalk because we won't really need the untapped land. So a sacrifice deck. Next turn we can just play the Armadillo. A 7/7 walled 3. I'm going to keep up. Three steps ahead. Oh, we still draw. Oh, no we don't. Let's get down to 7/7. I'm not sure why we didn't draw, even though the copy one whiffed. I thought it would have still, because it was a separate part of the card. Yeah, I'll take 2. That's not what we wanted to see, really. Obviously we can chump the Arch the Fiend. Assuming our Armadillo survives. It does have walled 3, which makes it very hard to kill. That's odd. They know I didn't have anything in my hand. We're going to have to block the Archfiend. But we're on a bad way. I'm not sure why they didn't play that before. That's not what we needed. Come on. At least we can turn on creature land. It's just flooded out. Hello Magic fans and welcome back to the wrap up. We played 10 games with a 40% win rate, which is not great obviously. Of those 10, interestingly it says we played 10 but on the play 7, on the draw 2, which doesn't add up. Most of our games were on the play and we still had a pretty poor win rate. It's odd that none of our ramp cards are changed from the other deck, but it does seem slower. But I do think losing that removal, especially say Buried in the Garden with something like Elish Norn, can just be a game breaker. There were a few times where we also completely flooded out. There were a few times where we bricked and we just didn't draw the cards, where in the other deck we didn't seem to have that issue. And I don't really know why, because, I don't know, just bad luck I think. So that's the deck. It's still fun to play. I did have a better success rate when I was playing it before recording, which, you know, happens. But you really need a fast start, or at least, you know, a turn 2 ramp, turn 3 ramp, turn 4, maybe play a big 6-drop. But we just weren't getting it. So that was it. I did have fun playing it and fun building it. If you did too, please like and subscribe. The stats show that a lot of people who watch these videos aren't subscribers. So if you are enjoying them, just please hit that bell. It doesn't really take a lot, but it does wonders for this channel, especially as we are a new one. But anyway, I hope to see you all in the next video.